Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Decentraland series. This is episode 8. For this episode, we'll be covering two parts. The first part is the transformation of this PNG file into a 3D GLB model file. We'll be using Illustrator to convert this PNG file into an SVG file and then importing the SVG file into Blender so that we can transform it into a 3D model. The next part we'll be experimenting with the Decentraland ECS Utils library. So our focus for today is the gradual movement, and we'll be covering each of the bullet items under gradual movement. So move an entity, follow a path, follow a curve path, rotate an entity, sustain rotation, change scale, non-linear changes, and finally call back on finish. Okay, let's begin. So we have this PNG file here and we want to transform this into a SVG file. So let's jump over to Illustrator. Okay, so we have the PNG file already open in Illustrator. The first thing we want to do is to get rid of the white space. So we do that by clicking on object, artboards, click on fit to artwork bounds. Select the image, click on the image trace tab or select the tab. Under the mode drop down, select color and leave the rest of the values as they are and click on the trace button. That's it. Next thing is save this image as a SVG file. So file, save as, save on your computer, SVG, save it, yes. Okay, this part here is really important. In the advanced option section, you'll see there's a drop down for CSS properties. Select presentation attributes and leave the rest of the options as they are. Click on the OK button. Okay, so once done, let's import this SVG file into Blender. Okay, so in Blender we have this default cube, camera and light. Select everything, delete them and then import the SVG file. Okay, so file, import SVG, scalable vector graphics. Select your SVG file. Okay, once imported, you have to zoom in into the origin to view the SVG file. Not sure why. The SVG file tends to appear very small in Blender after importation. Okay, so once you see the SVG file into view, you can make changes to it. So in our case, we have this Twitter logo SVG file and we want to get rid of the white space. So click on the white space, delete that off. Next, we want to apply extrusion to every components of this SVG image. So looking on the right side of the on the right panel, you see that there are many curve objects. So each of these curve object represents a part of the SVG image. So let's say for example curve 01 is this, curve 002 is this, and so on and so forth. So okay, now we want to apply extrusion to give this SVG image a 3D feel. Okay, to do that, um, press A, and then click on this green loopy icon, object data properties, and locate the geometry section, expand it, and locate the extrude input box. Okay, so now so let's give the extrude input box some value 0.02, enter. So as you notice that only one of the curve object has the extrusion, so we wouldn't want that. We want to apply the extrusion on all curve objects, not just one. So undo, Ctrl Z, go back to the input box, 0.02, hold enter and press, sorry, hold alternate and press enter. Okay, once done, let's convert all the curves into meshes. So A, F3, object convert mesh, click on the first item, mesh, and then we combine all of them together by pressing Ctrl J. Okay, so once that is done, we need to set our origin to the center of the object. So we do that by clicking on set origin to center of mesh. You can see that the orange dot has shifted from here to the center, to the middle of the object, right in the center of the object. Okay, next let's move the object right in the middle of the XY axis. So A, move okay, I think that should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, next we zoom out and we scale it up. A, S, S. Okay, so I think we're pretty good here. Let's export this model as a GLB file. So file, export, GLTF 2.0, GLB/GLTF. Episode 8. Okay, let's name it as twitter.glb. Export. Okay, let's look at the YouTube episode 8. Okay, so this is our output GLB file. Double click it. It looks like this. Yeah, okay. I think we should rotate it. We should rotate the file so that the Twitter logo faces towards this direction here, not towards up, not towards the yeah, it should be the Twitter logo should be facing in towards us, not upwards. So to do that, let's go back to Blender. Tool. Okay, we are in Blender now. Let's rotate it. Okay, press N, adjust the rotation to 90, and that's it. So export GLB again, Twitter. Go back to the GLB viewer. Okay, so now we have the Twitter logo facing us, as compared to before where the Twitter logo was facing upwards. Okay, now we want to import this GLB model into a Decentraland test scene. Okay, let's close this. Let's jump to our Visual Studio. Okay, terminal, new terminal, DCL. Just give me a second. Okay, yeah. Okay, so sorry, DCL init. Enter. Select scene. Okay, done. Let's run the scene. Oh wait, before we do that, create a folder. Let's call it models. Cut models, paste. Let's go back to Visual Studio. TCL start. Enter. Okay, so we have an empty scene with a default rotating cube. So let's get rid of that. Source game.ts, Control A, delete, save it. Okay, it's gone. Okay, next thing is we want to load up our twitter.glb model file into the scene, right? Okay, so we do that by constant, let's say Twitter cube equals to new entity, then Twitter cube dot add component, new gltf shape, model slash Twitter dot glb, Twitter cube dot add component, new transform, position vector 3, let's put it at 7 to 7. Okay, engine dot add entity Twitter cube. Let's save this and go back to okay. As now you can see, the Twitter cube is showing, it's floating. It's floating because we set the y coordinate to 2. Okay, so to place it exactly on the ground, change it to 1. Let's save this. Oops, sorry. Let's go back to Visual Studio. Sorry, 0. Save this. Okay, let's bring it out a bit. 0.5. Yeah, it's about there. I think it's on the ground. Yeah. Okay, let's change it slightly. 0.25. Save it. Yeah, it's about there. Okay. So okay, if you notice, right, the character or avatar is able to walk through. That's because the model is not solid. So we can set the solidness of the model in Blender. Okay, let's go back to Blender. Okay, we have this model. Let's rename this to Twitter box. Next is we copy this, paste data blocks. Oops, sorry. Copy, paste, paste it. Yeah, okay. And rename the copied object as Twitter box underscore collider. Yep. Okay, why do we have to name it like this? So let's go back to the browser. Okay, let's do a quick search. DCL SDK colliders. Okay, so according to the documentation, you have to name the object with the underscore collider suffix at the end. So yeah, so you have to add this to give the solidness to the object in Decentraland. In fact, there's like a step-by-step instructions here in this page. Yeah, just Google for Decentraland SDK colliders and try to locate this image here. Yeah, follow the instructions. Okay, so now we have Twitter box and Twitter box underscore collider. Okay, let's re-export this. Where is it? GLT. Oh, have this. Okay, dev model, export it. Okay. Okay, let's go back to Visual Studio. killer running process and restart it. Okay, so now let's try to walk over the model. So you can see now the model is not able to do so because the object is now solid. Okay, okay, let's scale up the model. Scale, new, vector 3. Let's say let's scale it up. I know 2 2 2. Okay, so we have this. Oops, let's go back to Visual Studio. Let's put it to 1. Okay, so now we have this Twitter box here, twice as big as the original size. You can jump on it. Yeah. Okay, let's go back here and let's change this to, let's say, 0.8. I think it should be okay. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, now let's cover the gradual movement components in the Utils library. Okay, let's start off with move an entity. Okay, so copy this, paste, next one, box shape transform. Okay, copy this and this and this. Okay, save it. Let's go back to the scene. Okay, is the error is saying that we cannot find the module. Okay, so if you encounter this error, install the missing module. So in this case, the missing module is dcl/ecs-scene-utils. Copy this, kill off the running process, npm install or npm I and the missing module. Enter. Okay, done. Let's start it again. what happened to the box? These modules didn't load. Game. Okay. Game. I wonder what happened here. So let's go through a code. Transform. Oh, right. Okay. So we added the transform twice. So let's try to delete the second transform. Save it. So now, as you can see, the Twitter cube object moving across, right? Okay, let's try it again. Go back to Visual Studio. Press Ctrl S to trigger a scene update. Okay, I'll try to do it faster this time. Go back to Visual Studio. Ctrl S. There you go, the moving Twitter box. Okay, so now we have covered the first part. So let's look at the parameters of move transform component. So if we want to slow down the speed of the movement, we can increase the duration value. Okay, let's try that. Let's try to change it to 10. Save it and see it. What happened? Okay, let's try 5. Oh, there you are. I wonder why it wasn't working with 10. Let's try 10 again. 10. Save. There you are. Okay. Okay, cool. Next one. Follow a path. Okay, copy this. Paste it into our code. Copy this, paste. Okay, let's refresh the scene again. Ctrl S. Okay, again, there's a duration value. Let's change it to a higher value so that we can see the movement in slower speed. So okay, let's change it to 10. Save, go back to the scene. Okay, so look at the coordinates. It looks like the cube is moving from corner to corner to corner, all 4 corners of the scene. So it starts off with 111 to 1115, 15.1.15 and 15.1.1. Okay, let's see this again. I'll refresh the scene. Go back, Control S, go back to the scene. Okay, nice. Okay, next one. Follow a curve path. Copy this, go back to Visual Studio, paste it over Twitter cube, save, go back to the scene. Again, let's go back to the scene, Control S, okay, go back. Let's try to change the path value. Okay, starting 1 on 1. Let's make it hit down to the center, to the middle of the scene, and then let's say 15.1. Okay, something like this. So again, let's slow down the speed by increasing the duration value. So 10. Okay, next one, let's cover, okay, rotation. To rotate an entity over a period of time from one direction to another, use the rotate transform component. Okay, let's try this. Copy, paste, save, go back. Okay. So it's rotating on the y-axis, sorry, x-axis. So we can, let's say we increase the okay, what's the last parameter? The last, okay, duration in seconds of the rotation. So let's change it to 5. Okay, let's put it 10, 90, 70, and let's put it 180. Let's okay, refreshing the scene again. Go back to Visual Studio, Control S, go back to scene. Okay. Oops, sorry. 90 x. Okay, so let's say if you want it to spin around, we would have to change this to 0 0. Let's say 360. No, let's go back to code. 180. Let's go back to code. Change it to 270 5 seconds. Let's change it to 365 seconds. No difference. One. Let's go back. 359. Nothing. Okay. Interesting. 300. Save it. Okay. Next bit. The next part. Okay, sustain rotation. So if we want the entity to sustain its rotation or rotate indefinitely or forever, we can use the keep rotating component. So let's copy this. Back to code. Save this, copy, paste, save it. So as you can see, now the cube is rotating forever. Or yeah, it doesn't stop rotating. Okay. So it rotates at a speed of 45 degrees per second. So to increase the speed of rotation, we would have to increase the value of this this y-axis value, right? Okay. So going back to code, let's change it to 90. Save. Go back to scene. Again, go back to code. Save it. See, it's much faster now. Let's go crazy. Let's try even faster. Let's see, 90. Let's change it to 360. Save it. Nothing. That's weird. 270. Save it. Let's try. $540. Okay, let's try 720. Let's try 720. nothing. 500. $3.15. It's kind of weird. It's a full turn every 8 seconds. Okay, 90 degrees per second, 180 degrees per second. Okay, so now moving on to the next part. Okay, let's try non-linear changes. Okay, start position, start rotation. Okay, copy this. Paste. Copy this. Paste this. Paste. Okay, let's see. Interpolation, linear interpolation is in quad, is out quad, is quad. Is in quad. Okay, let's try the is in quad. Save. Go back to the scene. Nothing. Save it again. Okay, let's increase the duration to slow down the movement of the component. Let's see. Okay, go back here. Let's change it to 12. Save. Go back to scene. Okay, too slow. Too slow. Let's change it to 6. Refresh. Okay, so it seems that ease in quad starts off slow and accelerates. So let's try linear. What's the difference? Linear. Go back here. Paste. Save. Oh no, we missed that. Let's go. Let's refresh the scene. Go back. Save. The linear as its name suggests, I will assume a constant speed from start to finish. Um, so let's try is in, what about is quad? What's is quad? Is quad. Let's go back to the scene. Jump back to code. Save. Jump back. Okay, so is quad starts off slow, accelerates, and then decelerates as it reaches its destination. Okay. Next one. Callback finish. Callback finish. Toggle state off. Toggle state off. Toggle. Let's try toggle. Use the toggle component to switch an entity within two possible states. Okay. Okay, let's try to use the toggle component to make the Twitter box move back and forth indefinitely. Yeah. So let's see. Move. What component can we use? Move transport. Move transform. Okay. Okay. We will use a combination of toggle and move transport component. Okay. So how do we use this? Add component on off. Then there's a toggle here. Okay, so copy this, go back to code, copy, paste. Okay, let's get rid of this, get rid of that. Okay, the starting state is off. If value is on, value equals to toggle state on, what do we do? Okay, we want to okay, for let's see, on we want the Twitter box to move from start to end position, which is from here to here, right? And on reaching the destination, we want the Twitter box to reverse its direction and go head towards the start position. So to do that, we would copy this first. Okay, let's cut this, paste it here. Okay, so if value equals to utils dot toggle state dot on, move the component from start to end, which is 111 15 115. Okay, speed 16. Okay, so the important part about this implementation is the second last parameter, this callback function here. So it says here on finish callback. Okay, so on finish callback, we would want to toggle this to off, right? So we do this Twitter cube dot get component dot what do we, okay, utils dot toggle component dot toggle. Okay, so this should transport, or okay, this bit of code should make the Twitter cube move from this start position to this end position, and then at the end of the when it reaches its destination, it will toggle it to the off state. So okay, let's implement the off state. Copy this, let's reverse that. So when the cube is in the off state, the start position is the end position, and we want to make the cube go back to its original coordinates. So new, let's get this. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's copy this. Paste. Then, okay, cut, paste, copy, paste. Okay, let's try this. Okay, horrible formatting. Wait, just give me a second. Formatted. And what is this? Okay, cool. Save this. Go back to the view, to the scene. Sorry, nothing. Go back to the code. Control S. Go back. It looks like it's not moving. Oh right, okay. We need to toggle it to enable the movement. So copy this, paste, save it, go back. There you are. So it's now moving back and forth, back and forth. Okay, let's make this this code a little more funky. Okay, let's delete this. Oops. Okay. Okay, let's apply rotation as it moves back and forth. So going back to the browser, let's hit back to sustain rotation. Where is sustain rotation? Okay, so sustain rotation uses utils.keep rotating component. Okay, let's copy this. Go back to code. Twitter cube. Let's say 90, save it. Nothing. Okay, refresh the scene. So you can see now the cube is rotating and moving at the same time. Yeah. Okay, how about if we try to make the cube move vertically instead of diagonally? So going back to the code, let me see what we have to change here. Start position, end position. So 1 1. Okay, let's put it in the center. 7 7 7 7. Put 5. Okay, you can see that now the cube is elevating elevating upwards and going down, going up. It's not easy to get onto it. Okay, so going back to the code, okay, let's scale it down a bit. 1 1 1. Save it. Okay, next. So we have this this bit of code here, this block of code here, to generate one cube. Okay, let's refactor this into a function. Call it function create Twitter cube. Let's copy this, cut, paste it here. Oops, I missed that. Paste. Okay, let's put it like this. For let I equals to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, create Twitter cube. Let's create 5 of these. Okay, create 5 of these. Okay, let's randomize the where do we what do we randomize? Okay, hit down. Randomize. Okay, so how about if we apply constant random y? So math.random times, I don't know, 10 plus 1, or wait, plus 3 random y, and we replace the speed of the movement with a random y value. Okay, cool. So we have this strange looking Twitter pillar. Going back to the code, let's randomize the x value. So constant random x equals to math.random, let's see, times the 10, okay, 12 plus 1. Okay, so we plus 1 to ensure that the boundary of x lies between 1 to 13. Okay, position, start position, random x. Okay, save it. see how it looks like. Oh yeah, okay. It's kind of weird. Okay. Let's refresh. Okay, looks kind of funky. Okay, how about this? How about if we randomize the scale of the component? Okay, so random scale math.random times, I don't know, 8 plus 1. Yeah, okay, let's shift this to the top of the function. Replaced it. Random scale, random scale, random scale. Save it. Go back to the code. Go back to the scene. Sorry, and we have this. Okay. Let's go back to the code. Random y. Okay, let's increase it. Maybe put it 6. Go back to the code. Let's try 10 cubes. Okay, start and position. Start and position. Okay, let's try random z. Sorry, z math.random times 12 plus 1. Okay, random z. Change it to here and here. Okay, so this concludes the episode for the Decentraland series. So we have explored the transformation of a PNG file to a GLB file, and we have also covered the issue of colliders. So the colliders. So just to recap, to make the component solid in the DCL scene, you have to create an object with the underscore collider suffix. Okay, and then we have also explored the various move functions, the rotation functions, and then we have also experimented with different values on the rotation and the movement functions to kind of like visualize and understand what these components can do with respect to your entities or components. Yeah. So I hope this has been a fun, deep exploration of the utility library. So yeah, so feel free to comment or ask questions in the comment section. And once again, thanks for watching. Bye.